I believe that once people get so imprinted in a system that's so unnatural, they forget what they are and who they are, mainly because of really bad training that has just happened in succession, generation to generation. You have to look at the legal world first and say, what is legal? And when you realize legal has nothing to do with truth, it's the absolute fraud of lawyers. It's an absolute construct of evil, and you'll never find a remedy remaining in the legal. Your solution is going to show up with the legal because the legal is the fraud. And we're going to get into that in future videos. But one thing we dealt with today is legal civil status, title, surname, mask. Now, why would I put that in there like that? Well, because that's how the system operates. You were not born with civil status. That is a fiction in itself. And it's something that you basically take on eventually by consent at a time of election, which would be deemed to be a period where an individual would have the ability to make a decision one way or the other. Even if they're deceived, they're still making a decision. And so therefore a child could never make this decision one way or the other, couldn't make a bad or a good decision. And therefore we call it age of election. We've done a lot of videos on this subject matter of election, but right now we're dealing with legal civil status, and we want people to understand there's certain terminologies that you need to understand or comprehend in order to get through this. One thing, civil means you're a pagan, you're a heathen. It means you have no covenant with God. Don't confuse it with New Age definitions of this. The term basically civil means you're basically connected to a legalism system which brought about the concept of mingling in heathen concepts. People who denied God were enemies of God's people originally, and it basically flourished on the earth. And these are the nations. These are the Gentile nations now. And their methods and their madness is purely satanic. And so if you call yourself a civilian, you just called yourself a heathen, you're outside the covenant of God, you're outside the sanctuary, you're profane, and therefore you will swear into every recording and record with that profanity name that says that the legal surname is over and above the Christian name. So why we put legal civil status, title, surname, mask is very, very appropriate for today's world, because God's mission does not work this way. But in the world of legal mammon and legal civil status, you're required to put on a legal mask, an actor's mask, in order to coordinate with a legal statistical act that the government puts in place to create a permanent legal status, if you so choose to be down that. And so therefore, would it not make sense that a legal person wearing a mask would actually wear a surname legal mask? Because that is the legal persona, that is the legal title that is obligated upon those who operate in legal. Remember, legal is opposite to natural, has nothing to do with reality, it is completely a fiction, and it is operated by the devil's advocates and those who basically promote lies and fiction. So if you're in the legal person wearing a mask, you already were doing that previously by putting on a surname legal mask to test you out, to make sure you go all the way with the government mandates.